Are you tired of it? That sinking feeling in your gut when someone presents a well-reasoned counter-argument, complete with evidence? Are you exhausted by the mental labor of considering new perspectives, of admitting nuance, of, heaven forbid, changing your mind? What if I told you there was a better way? A path to pure, unadulterated, 100% argumentative victory every single time. A secret system that allows you to win any argument from the highest stakes corporate meeting to the annual political throwdown with your brother-in-law. Forget learning, forget growing. Today we're going to talk about winning. And the first rule of winning is that thinking is for losers. I'm Danny, and this is Thinking Out Loud from English Plus Podcast. Let's start with Pillar 1, the unbreakable armor of absolute confidence. This is the foundation upon which your intellectual empire will be built. You must understand a fundamental truth of human psychology. People mistake confidence for competence. They just do. It's a delightful little flaw in the human software, and we're going to exploit it until the servers crash. From this day forward, you will never again utter phrases like "I think," "it seems to me," or "I could be wrong, but." They are the verbal tics of the weak-willed and the intellectually squishy. Your new vocabulary is one of divine certainty. The fact is, obviously, without a doubt, and anyone with a brain can see that, are the new cornerstones of your speech. Next, speak first, speak loudest, and never hesitate. Remember that awkward pause when someone asks you a question you don't know the answer to? That's a moment of weakness. Your goal is to eliminate it. The correct technique is to start talking immediately, regardless of whether a coherent thought has formed in your brain. Let the words pour out in a torrent of conviction. Volume helps, so does speed. The goal isn't to be understood, it is to be overwhelming. Think of your voice not as a tool for communication, but as an instrument of blunt force trauma. Your opponent should be so busy trying to keep up with the sheer velocity of your declarations that they have no time to question the substance. If you don't know the answer, just answer a different question you do know the answer to. It works for politicians, and it can work for you. And now let's talk about pillar number 2, the glorious cudgel of simplicity. Nuance, my friends, is a trap. It's a swamp of on the one hand and on the other hand where conversation go to die a slow, boring death. Your job as a champion of being right is to be a flamethrower in that swamp. Every complex, multifaceted issue can and must be flattened into a simple, digestible, black or white binary. It's either good or it's evil. It's us or it's them. It's the right way or the catastrophically, idiotically wrong way. Anyone who tries to introduce shades of gray is a coward, a fence-sitter, or worse, an intellectual trying to confuse you with needless complexity. Don't fall for it. Pick a side, preferably the one that requires the least amount of reading, and declare it to be the only side a sane person could possibly choose. And remember, analogies are your best, most deceptive friend. Now, why bother with data when a poorly constructed analogy will do the trick? Is someone proposing a new tax policy? Just say, look, a family can't spend more than it earns, and neither can the government. Is this a wild oversimplification that ignores the entire field of macroeconomics? Yes. Does it sound folksy and correct? Absolutely. Your goal is to find a simple, emotionally resonant metaphor and beat your opponent over the head with it until they give up. The more an analogy falls apart under scrutiny, the more aggressively you must defend it. Its weakness is its strength, because it forces your opponent into the weeds of, well, actually, making them sound like a pedantic nerd while you soar above on the wings of common sense. And now, pillar number 3. The surgical strike of the personal attack. This is where we move from the amateur leagues to the professional circuit. You'll hear fancy pants academics call this the ad hominem fallacy. Well, we call it playing the player, not the ball. And it is the single most effective way to win any argument. Why waste time dismantling a carefully constructed point when you can just imply the person making it is an idiot, a monster, or, at the very least, has a real weird haircut? The beauty of the ad hominem is its versatility. It doesn't matter what the topic is. You can always pivot from the subject at hand to the manifold flaws of the person you're arguing with. Now I'll give you a few classic maneuvers to get you started. Let's review some basic techniques. There's the questioning the motive. You only believe that because you'd personally benefit from it. There's the poisoning the well. Like, for example, you're getting all the information from any source you have deemed unacceptable, so nothing you say can be trusted. And my personal favorite, the concerned troll. I'm just worried that your passion on this issue is clouding your judgment. See how that works? You sound like you care, but you're actually calling them an emotional basket case. It's a work of art. Remember, if you can make them defensive about who they are, they'll completely forget the point they were trying to make. Checkmate. And now let's talk about pillar number 4, the dark arts of rhetorical trickery. Now we're getting into the advanced stuff. To truly be invincible, you need a few special moves in your back pocket. First up is the Gish Gallop, named after a creationist who perfected the technique. The Gish Gallop is the act of spewing so many misleading, half-true, and outright false arguments in a short space of time that your opponent cannot possibly debunk them all. It's a fire hose of nonsense. When they painstakingly refute one of your 20 points, you simply say, but you've ignored the other 19 points, which proves I'm right. It's beautiful. It requires no knowledge, only a rapid-fire delivery and a complete lack of shame. And next, you must master the straw man. This is the elegant art of misrepresenting your opponent's argument as something so stupid and indefensible that even a child could knock it over. Do they want sensible gun control? Accuse them of wanting to confiscate all guns and leave everyone defenseless. Do they suggest a higher tax on billionaires? Accuse them of being a communist who wants everyone to be equally poor. Build a scarecrow of their position, light it on fire, and then dance around the flames in victory. Did you engage with their actual point? No. Did you win? You bet you did. And now let's talk about pillar number 5, the golden rule. Never, ever, ever admit you're wrong. This is the most important pillar. It is the load-bearing wall of your entire intellectual fortress. The moment you admit even the slightest error, the whole facade crumbles. It shows weakness. It invites further questioning. It is argumentative suicide. You must never, under any circumstances, concede a point, apologize, or admit a mistake. So what do you do when confronted with undeniable, irrefutable proof that you are, in fact, completely and utterly wrong? Well, you have several options. You can double down, insisting the proof is fake. You can pivot, suddenly claiming you were arguing a different point all along. You can accuse them of being petty for focusing on a minor detail. Or you can simply declare that you're bored with a conversation, pronounce yourself the victor, and walk away. They can't argue with an empty chair. And now that we're done with all this, what does it feel like? So you've done it. You've followed the 5 pillars. You stand victorious atop a mountain of defeated opponents. Your brother-in-law is silent. Your online adversaries are blocked. Your coworkers just nod when you speak. You are right. You are always, always right. And it's a little quiet up there, isn't it? The air is thin. The only voice you hear is your own, echoing back at you. Winning, it turns out, can be a lonely sport. When you make every conversation a battlefield, you end up with a lot of casualties and no allies. When your goal is to be right at all costs, the cost is often everything else. connection, intimacy, joy, and the possibility of learning something new. And that's the hollow crown of the unthinking king. Is a victory truly a victory if nothing is gained? You have perfected the art of defending your own intellectual territory, if we can call it that. But that territory has become a tiny, walled-off island. You've built the walls so high to keep challengers out that you've also prevented any new light from getting in. The world, my friends, is vast, complex, and endlessly fascinating, but you'll never see it from inside your fortress. The joy of discovery, the thrill of a perspective shift, the deep, human pleasure of connecting with another mind and creating a new understanding together, these are all things you have traded for the cheap, hollow price of being right. Was it a fair trade? You think so? Well, let me finish by telling you about the courage to be wrong. Maybe, just maybe, the real superpower isn't being right after all. Maybe it's just the courage to be wrong. Maybe strength isn't found in unshakable certainty, but in the humility to say, I never thought of it that way before. Tell me more. Maybe winning an argument isn't about silencing your opponent, but about both of you walking away a little smarter, a little more compassionate, a little closer to the truth. This path is harder. It requires vulnerability. It requires you to slay your own ego, which is a much fiercer dragon than your brother-in-law. But it's also where the real adventure of life is. It's where growth happens. It's where wisdom is found. It's not a battlefield, my friends. It's a collaboration. So I leave you with this to think about. What does it really mean to win a conversation? Is it about proving a point and walking away unchanged? Or is it about the messy, beautiful, and sometimes uncomfortable process of learning and connecting with another person? What battles are you fighting just for the sake of being right? And what might you discover if you laid down your arms? I genuinely love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Well, I might have fooled you at the beginning, thinking that I actually believed what I said, but as always, it's up to you to decide which is the right way and which is the wrong way. Well, my friends, that's everything. I'm Danny, and this is a new Thinking Out Loud episode from English Plus Podcast. I'll see you again next time.